All right, friends, welcome back to What Lies in the Sunday Telegraph. It is the 16th of June, 2019. It is indeed a Sunday. It is still very cold in Canberra and will remain so for some months. Thank you, everyone who's been watching. The numbers on the last one surprised me, as did the comments. It's good to know I'm part of the climate conspiracy. Frankly, if someone's going to be running a conspiracy, it's going to be the coal billionaires and the oil companies, not a bunch of climate scientists and me. But keep on flat earthing, flat earthers. Cool. On to the Telegraph. And what do we got here? Legacy of Love. CAC's $15 million gift to spinal patients. That would be Kerry Ann Kenley, of course. And there she is. The Golden Girl. I am looking forward to reading the article about this and finding out exactly in what way Kerry Ann Kenley is contributing $15 million, because that's real money. For a donation, that's Kerry Packer money. So we'll see. I'm intrigued. Also, arms deal. Crime lords trade illegal gun stashes for lighter sentences. Apparently, criminals are now stockpiling high-powered weapons so they can trade them off, because no one knows the system as well as someone who lives in the system. Authorities are worried offenders are buying lighter sentences without giving up who supplied them the weapons. Yeah, I might need a bit of a tweak in the legislation there. Back to Big Boy Coffee today. 3 pods, spent a whole buck. I like the sippy cup kind of bashing on your face, is there? Moving on, what do we got? Let kids keep the house. So this is a idea that the children should permanently live in the family home and the parents should hot desk in and out. I kind of like the idea from the point of view of the kids, but at the same time, this is a very upper middle class kind of proposal, isn't it? Because it involves a family keeping 3 houses, and a lot of people struggle to keep one, don't they? All right, Star Logie's trio now all grown up. Jessica Mauboy, Guy Sebastian, and Delta Goodrem will turn to the screen as the biggest stars on television's Night of Nights. Interesting, the Sunday Telegraph's buying into the Logies so big, isn't it? That's TV Week property, isn't it? Pretty much the only time anyone visits the TV Week website, I imagine. Shotgun sentences, back to the hoarding weapons and bargaining. Alan Muradian, someone called Roberts whose name is suppressed. If you're in prison, should your suppression order really be holding up? Farhad Kwame and Khaled Hamzi and Craig Phelps. So, page 7, when CAC ambushed Premier. I kind of like Kerry Ann Kenley being referred to just as CAC. So it turns out that Kerry Ann Kenley is not in fact donating $15 million as the front page might have led you to believe. She has instead twisted the arm of the New South Wales government to donate your money to the cause as chosen by Kerry Ann Kenley, who, look, I'm not saying this spinal unit isn't a good thing. I'm just saying I wish the process didn't rely on a woman like Kerry Ann Kenley deciding that's where the money should go. Good luck to him. Fantastic. Yeah. Hong Kong backs down over protests over China. This is interesting. Page 7, they've actually put some world news on. It does make the Chinese government look bad, which is a low-level Telegraph priority. But, congratulations to the Hong Kong protesters for pushing back against the power. Well done. Well done, the Telegraph, for bringing something that isn't celebrity gossip to somewhere near the front of the paper. Tiger's still waiting for in-excess inheritance. Michael Hutchins's daughter is still waiting for money from her inheritance. Apparently, Tiger Lily Hutchins-Geldof is living in a flat which the filmmakers say resembles a squat. So probably just the sort of house that most of us live in then. So she's claiming not to have received the money she was supposed to. Apparently she doesn't like meeting with accountants, and they say she has to. I would have thought she could engage a lawyer, maybe with stepdad Bob Geldof's money for that. But who am I or any of us to delve too deeply into other people's private lives. Well, except the Sunday Telegraph, of course. Huge full-page ad for the Sunday Telegraph for the Commonwealth Bank on Better for Regional Australia. We're becoming a simpler, better bank, they say. So page 9, we get to the Mascot Towers, which the residents have been denied entry. I love the idea of being denied entry into your own damn house. One thing the Australian legal system is always really good at is protecting property owners, but apartment dwellers, do they really count in our system of privilege? It looks like it's a grey area because suddenly their homes are not their homes. Jesus, it'd be awful. I'm amazed this is page 9. This is like everyone's worst fear. Anyway, there's cracking. No one knows anything. No one's saying anything. Apparently, random residents in the vicinity are putting people up in their living rooms, which doesn't sound like a brilliant response to the situation. They're still pushing vivid. Festivals of vivid memory. That's a subheader to put a lot of time and thought into that headline, didn't they? There's a story about the existence of a time-lapse video, which of course you can't get in the paper. Teenage girl killed in crash up at Grafton. Sounds awful. 3-car crash. Okay, page 11. Linda Silmalis. End may be near for old prisons. Riot teens sent to adult jail. Two exclusives on the same page. Crisis-ridden juvenile justice system. Page 13. More UC missions net the bad guys. UC is how we're referring to undercover now. Police are increasingly turning to highly trained undercover operatives to catch criminals involved in drugs, firearms offences and fraud. Well, it beats dealing with speeding tickets and domestics, doesn't it? And undercover does, aside from some terrifying moments, sound like a lot more fun for your police, doesn't it? Hope we don't see a return to Special Branch and their dossiers on judges and politicians. $1 million rugby league star Ash Taylor has turned to mining and hard labour to convince himself he has the passion for being a professional NRL player. And look, we got a picture of him wearing a mining hat because mining is real work. I have no idea what's going on with Ash Taylor, and I don't care. I don't quite see why bloody sport's taking up what little of the paper still covers news. Tiny little 2-part story. Cannon incites a cabin hidden in bushland has been found by bikie busting police looking for guns at a farm. Highly sceptical without a picture, or at least a description. Possibly it's just, anything bigger than a 303 is technically a cannon, depending on which definitions you're using. Molan makes good on her sister pact. Channel 9 star Erin Molan has posed for an advertising campaign to raise money and awareness for bowel cancer, the disease that almost took the life of her sister. She's done a photo shoot. Awareness is everything, Molan said. Apparently she made a pact with her sister that they would devote their lives to raising awareness of bowel cancer. It's why she signed up as an ambassador for Bowel Cancer Australia. So the M4 West Connects is due to open, which apparently will slash hundreds of hours a year off travel times. Most people aren't too keen on toll roads, but we'll see. Lipstick Queen's cocaine dealing bust. 130,000 drug loot put under a rock. Holy moly. So these, it's a perfect story, isn't it? You got attractive young women, and $130,000 in cash, a kilo of ice, and 4 kilos of cocaine in an Aldi freezer bag under a rock. Well done, ladies. It's a shame you got caught. Pope Francis says wake up to climate disaster. Given his recent comments on gender fluidity, I just wish the Pope would pipe down and not get involved. Maybe devote himself to sorting out the sexual predators in his organisation. Man stabbed at Mount Druitt home. That's literally the story. Still no sign of missing backpacker. A Belgian friend actually asked me to pass this on there, so Belgium is watching. Police are still searching for missing Belgian teen Theo Hayes, who disappeared after leaving a popular Byron Bay venue in May. Theo was last seen drinking on his own at the Cheeky Monkey restaurant and bar about 11 p.m. on May 31. A hooded jacket similar to the one he was wearing has been found in bushland. All thoughts and prayers to the family. Ava Benny Morrison informs us, drivers riding a highway to hell. Road rage is driving Australians crazy, with 1 in 5 motorists admitting their frustration has caused a car crash. Cool. Children's Hospital's fight reveals cardiac surgeon shortage. Mum's drink drive rescue, child shielded from crash outside school. This is Ava Benny Morrison, crime reporter again. Internet time should be a reward, not a right, and parents need to be the master controllers of Wi-Fi to curb kids' addictions to screens. If the parents can stay off the phones themselves, fantastic. Now, page 22, you have the best piece of journalism you are ever going to see in the pages of the Sunday Telegraph. Turns out Qantas scales are over-reading your baggage and then hitting you with all those extra baggage fees. The Telegraph has actually put a calibrated weight bag on travel to gain this data, and I think that's fantastic. Well done, John Rolfe, who has the exclusive on this one. I salute you. If this paper was full of news like this, I would not need to do videos talking about it. This is just fantastic stuff. And, you know, Qantas, consider yourself lucky. In the bad old days, your heads would have been on sticks for this, you dirty, dirty criminals. Right, rescuing their reputation. $3 million New South Wales surf lifesaving scandal forces radical changes. 2 Surf Lifesaving New South Wales board members have temporarily stood aside as more than 100 people are interviewed in a police investigation into missing millions. There remains a tension between volunteer lifesaving and paid professional lifesavers put on by the municipalities, you know, that have the beaches in them. I'm not going to weigh into that here. I've always sort of been on the side of the volunteer lifesavers, but you know, any place there's a pile of money, there's going to be someone with their paws into it. Apparently there's a rise in forced marriages around Australia. Could easily just be a rise in reporting. Shrek the Musical is coming to Sydney's Lyric Theatre early next year. Shows like that really just used to be a Christmas panto run, didn't they? But fantastic. Flu hits Sydney's west hardest. Well, it's colder and it's poorer, so if I'd had to guess, I would have gone that way. Aha, now the source, the political gossip of Annika Smethurst, Linda Silmarlis and Miranda Wood. So lead story is that New South Wales Treasurer Dom Perrottet is planning a 6th baby soon. They're expecting. It's nice to have the money to be able to afford that sort of thing, isn't it? So apparently Strathfield City Councillor Nella Hall is gone to work with Mark Latham, One Nation, Mark Latham, because it was an opportunity to work for someone who was so skillful and intelligent. Mark is a great boss who is very patient and kind. It's not the Mark I know, and I have met Mark Latham several times. FIFO ban. Coalition Chiefs of Staff and Advisors will no longer be able to fly in, fly out to their ministerial offices, with the Coalition Government Star Chamber demanding employees resign in their boss's home state or Canberra. Capitol Hill source said the edict was designed to address a period of lax hiring practices whereby ministers have been enlisting staff from everywhere to replace the scores of employees departing ahead of the expected demise of the Morrison government. Ministers took on staff irrespective of where they lived, and now they are flying in from everywhere. The source said they now have to live in Canberra or the minister's home state. Source says the edict applied to ministerial chiefs of staff was expected to be extended to senior advisors. Does not apply to the Prime Minister's office. So someone saw former Labor leader Luke Foley in a cafe opposite New South Wales Parliament House. Gossip. Saw someone in a cafe. So apparently the scramble for the vacant Liberal Senate seat is down to the Schools New South Wales CEO Dallas McInerney and New South Wales Liberal Vice President Kent Johns. My money would be on Kent. So apparently the cool kids in the Berejiklian government, and let's face it, no one in close proximity to Gladys Berejiklian is ever going to be cool, work in 52 Martin Place, or 52 MP, and some ministers haven't fitted, so they're still stuck in Parliament House, but they prefer the cafe there. Isn't that nice? So Foxtel has splashed out for a 2-page ad. Look at that. Bad blood. It's when's it actually on? 25 and 26 June, 8 p.m. on Sky News. Inside the nation's biggest political drama. Bad blood, new blood. If this is a ScoMo hagiography, I'm going to be pissed. My Roo shock, crash changed man's life as animal collisions soar. Road tolls in regions, cause for concern. Keith Urban and friends, full page. Keep that in mind next time you see a story about Keith Urban in the paper and wonder how it got there. Renovation crumbles in favour of full rebuild. Yeah, renovations are way more expensive and you're still living in an old house. Right, The Snitch, Law and Order with Ava, Benny Morrison and Brendan Hills. Ava. Messages in the comments, folks. So apparently a fight amongst the jurors was the reason the Curtis Cheng trial had to have the jury dismissed. Right, so we have the good juror and juror X, so nothing pejorative in that reporting. So the trial had to happen again, but a conviction was reached, so the system has vaguely worked. So apparently we've got a whole thing about barrister John Corn's love of pens. Pentel metallic fountain pen, that's a bit cheap. He's learned about Lamy pens, that's good. Oh, John Corn, late in life, barrister, has discovered a whole world of people fanatical about inks and pens. Yeah, whole store's devoted to it. Well, gosh, I'm glad that this late in life discovery is worthy of a 6 or 7 paragraphs. And the hunt is on for a new state emergency service commissioner, which doesn't sound like news either. World news. More stuff on Hong Kong. Brexit. We've actually got some Brexit news in the Sunday Telegraph because, the possible dissolution of the United Kingdom isn't going to have any flow-on effects in Australia. Anyway, so, yeah, Boris is beating the Brexit drum to try and win the Tory leadership. That is a whole lengthy news article summarised for you there. Sport. Dumb people running into each other. Dumb people with more money than I'll ever have, though, so I wish I was better at running into people. Probably too old for it now. This should really be world news. So Lebanonsens, not at all racist there. Cedars take stand in protest over domestic board. Cedars take stand, I like that. That's a bit of clever sub-editing. Well done. So apparently Lebanese players will take the extraordinary step of taping over the Lebanese Rugby League Federation logo when they take to the field against Fiji on Saturday. Angst between the game's best players and the governing body in Lebanon grows. Yeah, the Lebanese Rugby League is going to be a vexed issue that I doubt the Telegraph is going to be able to get to the bottom of, nor will I. Hey, horse torture. I hope we get to those oil tankers blowing up in the Gulf of Oman, because that seems like something that's going to affect Telegraph readers. Body and soul lift out. Young women in short shorts riding bicycles. Apparently 1 in 7 Australians suffer anxiety. I reckon 1 in 7 Australians admit to anxiety. I think the number might be a little higher. Some sort of horrid kids lift out. Oh, in the middle of the welfare we have the Australian wine. Maybe wine clubs are the future of journalism. Right, so we're covering the with nutritionist Zoe Bingley-Pullen. You can see the march of the hyphenated names goes on. Protein ice cream is a tick, but it'll upset your bowels if you eat too much. Avocado ice cream gets the tick, it's good for you. Rice ice cream has a lot of sugar in it, apparently. God, we're doing lentils in the recipe section today. How do I satisfy an older woman? Yeah, so we don't appear to have any answers to how to satisfy an older woman. Just don't stress about it. Which is generally good advice, isn't it? Back to racing. Dog torture. Excellent. Back to humans running into each other. A few days late, they note the Matildas beat Brazil. Well done. Alright, Jessica Halloran's full page of crap. It's just something about rugby league training. Whole page of it. Right, world news. Back. Lost baby dugong loves a cuddle. Families in Christchurch wait for justice. Yeah, if you think a 51 murder trial is going to go quickly, don't hold your breath. 5 guilty of slaying teenager at a Bronx bodega. It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Bronx bodega. Which generally just means a store. Yeah, that does sound like a nasty thing that happened on the other side of the world. Here we go. Fine. For regular watchers of this show, the lack of any coverage about the crisis with Iran has been perplexing us. Iran is to blame for blasts, headline. US President Donald Trump has doubled down in accusing Iran. So one of the most dishonest people who've ever lived is your source. Now, I don't know who planted those bombs. Could have been Iranian, it could have been US, it could have been someone else who wants the US and Iran to come to blows. Both sides are entirely capable of lying. Both sides are not in control of all of their factions, which are pursuing their own interests. So don't believe anything you read on this. I do note limpet mines attached above the waterline to the outside of a ship seems a peculiar way to do anything but just send a signal. Who is sending the signal to who is not something we're privy to. Right. Followed by Trump claims Melania T, the new Jackie O. For a start, when she was First Lady, she was Jacqueline Kennedy. Is Donald Trump suggesting Melania's going to marry someone else? So apparently the Pope sacked a misogynist bishop in Chile. The boss of the Toronto Raptors is in trouble after a policeman tried to stop him getting on court. Okay, Dad punches up shark. The father of a 17-year-old girl who was attacked by a shark off the North Carolina coast has revealed how he rescued his daughter by punching the shark repeatedly until it let go. It was a big shark, he says. I immediately just started to hit it. I would love to see a picture of his hands after repeatedly punching a shark to the point that it made it let go. Love to see a picture of the shark as well. Peter Credlin. It's the Nutty Sky News page. Right, Adani flicks the switch. To be born in Australia is to have won the lottery of life. Living here is about as good as it gets. Better without Peter Credlin having power in our society. Yet consumed with our first world, capital F, capital W, problems, lowercase p. Yeah. We Australians often forget the smallness of our worries relative to the battles that so many elsewhere have just to keep warm, dry, safe and fed. So you've got it too good, people. I might bemoan Sydney's traffic, yet I have a car to drive and enough money to keep fuel in the tank. I have a wardrobe full of clothes, yet still complain I have nothing to wear. And my latest worry is about how I can manage to store all my books when I move house, even though I have more than most schools in the developing world, and despite being born a girl, can read them. Get a Kindle like the rest of us. So Peter has been to Mumbai and realises how bad people in India have it. Some people in India, I hasten to note. So a little bit of poverty tourism. Peter flew to India as Adani's guest. So if we destroy the planet and dig up all this coal and strip mine an area the size of Great Britain, which is the Galilee Basin, maybe the billionaires will let some of these desperately poor people in India ascend out of poverty. But only if we let them have their damn coal mine. How dare you hold these people's lives to hostage like that, Peter? There are a million ways to improve the well-being of the rural poor in India that don't involve your dirty corporate sponsors paying for you to flit around India. This is disgusting. Peter also notes Albo has a fight on his hands. This is with John Setka, which, let's face it, the Liberals are hoping John Setka hangs around forever and keeps fighting his own party. And the internal issues of the CFMMEU in Victoria and its assets are certainly beyond the scope that Peter Credlin's going to give us an honest read on. And Peter Gleeson chimes in about how great it was that Bob Hawke governed from the centre and was basically the author of neoliberalism in Australia. It's great when the left-wing party can do the work of the ruling class, isn't it? Opinion, ours and yours. When it comes to heroes, Assange is not our guy, says Claire Harvey. Piers Ackerman's discovered the lefty he loves. It's Bob Hawke, Larrikin Hawke, a big picture Polly who sought to make a real difference. David Pemberthy brings us Why Footy is a Flog. I can't bring myself to even understand what he's going on about. The opinion page. Kerry Ann's attitude right on the money. When Kerry Ann Kenley wants something, it's best to just give it to her. Like all fabulously powerful and famous people in Australia, just give them what they want and stuff everyone else. And apparently they're worried that Swimming Australia only put the World Swimming Trials in Brisbane on an internet stream. Yeah, I know that feeling. I appreciate my viewers. Except for the horrible old ones who love the Sunday Telegraph and just send me hate mail. But they're funny. I do enjoy sharing their comments amongst my friends. Health hacker, your health is no joke. Yeah, we've all got to eat less, exercise more, and lose some weight. I'm going for a bicycle ride this afternoon. From a pub to a pub. So, not that good for my health, really. Insider, more Bob Hawke. Men in Blank International gets 2 stars. Secret Life of Pets, 2.5 stars. Never Look Away, the compelling historical drama about the true complexity of the German World War II experience, gets 4 stars. Apparently Mark Ronston is mining new depths for his new record. Some would say he's plumbing those depths. Sure. Okay, Yesterday, this is the movie Richard Curtis is making about a singer-songwriter who wakes up one morning to discover he's the only person who remembers the Beatles, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing this. The concept just looks fun, and Richard Curtis's team, they know how to put this sort of thing together, don't they? Kerry Parnell, news. I mean, admittedly page 101, but still a third of a bloody page on Kerry Parnell deciding she actually doesn't hate Love Actually, and she should hate Love Actually. It's a bloody awful film with awful messages about how isn't it great to be an old white man and bang your staff. Barnaby Joyce must have it on high rotation. Oh, there's an article on how he should settle for small houses. Duncan Lay, the Westeros correspondent, still has Kit Harington, a story on Kit Harington doing well in rehab. Maybe Duncan Lake can just keep writing stories about things Game of Thrones actors have been doing forever. So photographer Andrew Quilty is apparently in a fight with the World Press Photo Foundation and has engaged defamation lawyers, so let's be careful. Allegations of inappropriate conduct, which he denies. Yeah, this doesn't sound good. Right, Gina Reinhardt's launching a recipe book, which will be attended. The launch will be attended by Julie Bishop and Alan Jones, who is no stranger to recipe books. Why? I guess she's looking to soften her image. MAFS contestant Sorrel, Love Island's Eden Daly, and Sephora Malka. Things We Love, a collection of stories and recipes from the Hancock and Kidman pastoral properties, which is being sold to raise funds for drought victims. Recipes for entrees, main meals, desserts and snacks cooked at cattle stations and other properties in the Hancock and Kidman group. Also includes Reinhardt's favourite Christmas recipes, including her mum's Langsview turkey, Chrissy trifle and pudding. If you want to know what the billionaires like, or what they feed to their staff. Anywho. Right, Annette Sharp lets us know that Blanche Dalpouget's peace pact with Bob's kids was fragile till the end. James Weir says ignorance is the true secret to success. Now that should be the Sunday Telegraph's motto. That's fantastic. Ignorance is the true secret to success. It's official. We are the stupid ones. Yes, we are, James. Turns out, because Kim Kardashian is actually getting some very good things done by putting some celebrity star power on Donald Trump, which is, it's good that some good's coming out of that. And Sydney Airport's celebrating 100 years. They've brought the back page to follow our journey and share yours at sidstories.com.au. I don't think I will. Cool. So thanks very much, folks. I'll hope to get this online soon. The view numbers keep going up and the comments are very heartening, so I really thank everyone who is sitting through this. And just letting you know, we'll keep going on YouTube, but Facebook is going to be the point of first upload. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you wished you'd got it a few hours earlier, better look up what lies in the Sunday Telegraph on Facebook. Okay, folks, we'll see you next week. Cheers.